You're 640 pounds. How do you think you got here?
It's from having 2 kids.
Always lying to me. You lying so much.
Hey everybody, it's Tony with Big T Bariatric, and I'm back at you with another video. Today it is Friday. Hallelujah, it's Friday, July 14th, 2023. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. If you could do me a huge favor, please look down below and see if you're subscribed to my channel, and if you're not, hit that button for me. Leave a like, leave a comment, and let me know what you think about this video. Now, if it's one thing that we're really good at as fat people, it's making excuses for why we can't change. At the end of the day, we can complain about how much pain we're in. We can complain about how miserable our lives are and how much we wish this was different or that was different. But at the end of the day, it's really up to us to decide to want to change. And I'm not discounting how difficult it's going to be to make that change that we want. It's very, very difficult. As somebody who's gone through it, I absolutely know it's very, very difficult. But as somebody who's gone through it, like I just said, I also know that it's possible to change. It's possible to get help. It's possible to get to that point where you're not so stuck in bed and you're not so miserable. I mean, the consequences of your obesity might chase you for the rest of your life, but you can change it. You can get better. You can get healthy. So stop with the excuses and start doing it. Start putting a plan into action. Get some help. Do what you need to do. If you're stuck in that situation, there are no excuses for why you can't change. There are none. And I speak from experience. But anyways, let's get into the clips right now.
Obstacles are inevitable in life, and how we handle them says a lot about who we are as people. In the case of the patients on my 600-pound life, there are many who come up with some really bad excuses for their lack of progress, and today on Plot Twist, we're going over some of the worst.
One of the biggest things that I learned on my journey so far is it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to admit that you failed, that you're struggling with something. There's just this internal drive, it seems, to want to do it on your own. And if you can't do it on your own, then you're just gonna lie about it. And lying is the worst thing you could do, especially when you have help. Like Dr. Now always tells his patients, if you need anything, call the office, call me up, I'm here, we're gonna help you out. If you need some therapy, let's get that thing rolling. But a lot of people don't want to go down that route for some reason. I know a lot of people who are watching me right now, you're probably struggling with your weight, and you've heard me say over and over and over again, get some therapy. It's 100% mental, it's not physical. And yet many of you are still refusing to ask for help, to get therapy, to do the things that you should be doing if you really, really are serious about losing weight. Because again, this is a lifelong process you're going to have to endure. Anybody who's had an addiction usually has that addiction for life. Every person I know that's quit smoking still craves cigarettes. As somebody who used to be addicted to pain medication, I still crave pain medication. Like, you're always going to have that addiction. And even now, after weight loss surgery and losing 200 pounds, I'm still struggling with cravings. I'm still struggling with my diet. I had a conversation with my dietitian today. I'm scheduling an appointment to meet with her. I'll talk more about that later. But it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to admit that you're failing, that you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And the worst thing you can do is lie to yourself and try to lie to everybody else and imagine that you're doing well when you're really doing terribly, because that only stalls your progress, okay? If you can't ask for help in the middle of a month when you're struggling, then you're just wasting everybody's time, because you're going to be failing for half a month or an entire month. Then when you go back for that next weigh-in, you're only going to gain weight, and it's going to take another whole month. And when you're doing this process and it's long enough and you need to get to a certain weight to get your weight loss surgery, or you're making goals for yourself without the surgery, whatever it is, the last thing you should do is prolong the experience, making it go longer, months and months longer, because by then you're just going to give up on yourself. So there is no shame in asking for help, none whatsoever.
When you're my size, it hurts like hell every day to get up and do what I have to do. On my body, pretty much everything from the waist down hurts. I'm sorry.
I mean, this is another example of why I want to get to a smaller weight before I get married, before I have kids. Because imagine trying to be a parent, but you're so big that at every single step that you make hurts. And it's difficult for you to even be a parent. I mean, it's difficult being a parent for anybody. But when you're that size, I can't even imagine the insurmountable odds that she has trying to be a good parent. And I'm not saying she doesn't have a good heart and, she's going to fail at being a parent and all this other stuff. The odds of that are significant because if there's an emergency, how is she going to be able to run to her kid and protect her kid and do what she needs to do in that aspect? It's going to be tough. Let's say there's a house fire. How is she going to get her kid out of the house as quickly as possible when she can barely move and every step is excruciating? Like, she's going to just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger to the point where she's almost going to be bedridden. Then she can't take care of her kid.
Being a mother of two is hard work, and weighing over 600 pounds puts a lot of stress on your body. Dottie has to deal with both of these factors, so you can understand why she pretty much lives in constant pain.
By the time I was 18, I was well over 300 pounds. And I remember just eating and eating and eating so much. And I've just never been able to stop.
You have some people that choose alcohol to bury a feeling or anger or sadness. Dottie just chose food.
I often get frustrated sometimes with people who act like food is a completely different problem than other addictions like even alcohol. Because alcohol is more socially acceptable, right? I talk to a lot of people who are heavy drinkers. They say it helps me relax at the end of the day. Like, that's the way food is for a lot of people. It's called comfort food. Maybe you have moments in your life where you indulge in comfort food. There's certain things you enjoy. If you're sad or if you're angry or if you just want to celebrate, what do? You get food. Maybe you enjoy your ice cream at the end of the day. All right, well, heavy drinking is no different than heavy eating. This addiction with food is no different than any other addiction out there. And everybody has one. Everybody's got a crutch. Everybody has a coping mechanism. We've all dealt with certain various things in our lives that, make us want to reach out for help when it comes to substances. But at the same time, food is the one that's most looked down upon.
Dottie uses food as an escape for just about every negative emotion she comes across, and that's starting to catch up with her.
You don't have to have drugs every day. You don't have to have alcohol every day. But you have to have food to live every day.
That's another really great point. Like, food is readily available everywhere. I mean, liquor is too. Like, there's probably liquor stores in every community. Maybe there's one or two. But like in my community, there's like 2 or 3, I think, where you can get alcohol. But there's probably 100 different restaurants and fast food places here. Fast food is everywhere. They pump the smell of it into the air. There's advertisements. Every time there's a commercial, there's probably a fast food ad. I mean, it's everywhere. And you need food to live. So it's kind of difficult to escape that part of the grocery store where all the donuts are or where all the cake is and ice cream and all the nasty food. And it might seem like, again, I'm making excuses here for fat people. There is still no excuse because you are still in control of what you put in your mouth. But at the same time, I think we do need to understand just how difficult it is to overcome a food addiction. And that is why if you're trying to diet and you're trying to lose weight, you need to do it in a better way, maybe with some therapy to help you through that, because it's not going to be easy whatsoever.
Can I get a double cheeseburger and fries and a 10-piece chicken nugget? People don't really understand when you have an addiction to food, it's the worst kind of addiction you can have.
Food addiction is a real thing, but that's not an excuse. Yes, you need food to live, but you really don't need double cheeseburgers.
I mean, yeah, that's absolutely a great point too. Like, you are responsible for what you put in your mouth. Yes, you do need food to survive, but you got to try harder to bypass those aisles in the store that get you into trouble. You're going to have to use a little more willpower to bypass the fast food restaurant that you're having cravings for. Anybody who has ever lived has had cravings. Maybe you're craving something right now. Maybe you want some ice cream and it's hard to bypass the Dairy Queen, right? Like we've all been there. I mean, try to put yourself in a larger person's shoes who has an addiction to food when you yourself have cravings to certain things, and it's hard to say no if it's there. Such as working in an office, if there's a box of donuts there. Do you realize how difficult it is for me to say no when those donuts are there?
Donuts.
It's really, really tough, even on a diet. Even after weight loss surgery, bypassing those cravings are very, very difficult. But I'm still responsible. I still have to bring my yogurt to work so I can say this is my breakfast instead of that donut. So I can make better decisions, and I'm working through that, again, with therapy, with help from a dietitian. Again, I emailed my dietitian today asking some questions because I had a question about yogurt. Should I try this yogurt versus that yogurt? Because they want me to do the Dannon Light and Fit Greek yogurt, and I'm starting to think it's disgusting and there's a lot of sugar in it versus the ratio keto yogurts that I've been eating, which I think taste a lot better, but according to her, there's a lot more fat in the ratio ones, and so she wants me to stick with the Dannon Light and Fit. So yeah, I'm emailing her, asking her questions about what I should be eating, what I shouldn't be eating, and having that kind of help is invaluable. You should have professionals working this out with you instead of trying to go at it alone, because you're going to make all kinds of mistakes doing it by yourself.
Me and Chris are heading to Houston to see a doctor who does surgery on people my size. I figure if he can give me gastric bypass, that may be my only hope to lose weight. I wouldn't be doing this if I had any other option, but I know I have to have help.
Dottie is officially making the trip to Dr. Now, and based on that little monologue, she knows exactly how important this meeting is.
I'd rather be dead than to get to a place where I can't take care of my kids. I just hope I'm not beyond help.
641.
Oh boy, Dottie knew she was big, but apparently she was not ready for that.
You are 640 pounds. How do you think you got here?
It's from having 2 kids.
Really? Having 2 kids got you to be 641 pounds? Are you serious? I mean, I didn't have kids. I got to be bigger than that. And it's because I stuffed my face. That's how I got so big. Like, this is where you take responsibility for your actions.
I take responsibility.
I take responsibility.
I take responsibility.
I take responsibility.
This is where you say, yeah, I just ate myself because I used food to help me cope with a difficult childhood or whatever her reason was. You don't blame the fact that you had 2 kids. I know a lot of parents, I know a lot of women who did gain weight because of childbirth, and a lot of them, like my own mom, took care of it. She goes, wow, I put on all this extra weight, so, I started doing things the right way. I started eating better. I got these barbells and started working out, and she worked the weight off. I know a lot of parents who are like that. I know a lot of parents who've gained a little bit of weight. I know parents who have had 5 or 6 kids and didn't gain 671 pounds. I mean, that's just absolutely one of the worst excuses. I had 2 kids, so...
My oldest son, he's disabled. And
How old is he?
He's 12.
So you stay home and you take care of the children?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dottie, we're aware that raising 2 kids is hard, especially when one is disabled, but that's no excuse to put on this type of weight. It's impossible to get that big without eating an absurd amount of food, and you need to take responsibility for that.
You guys need to realize that first you have responsibility toward the kid, and then you have responsibility toward your health. I want you to lose 40 pounds over the next 2 months. From this point on, every day, make adjustment in your eating habit.
Wow, Dr. Now is being very reasonable here. Lose 40 pounds in 2 months. That's 20 pounds a month. At her size, it's very easy, very doable.
You can do it!
And then he says make small adjustments to your eating habits every single day. Again, that's a great way to do it. You don't have to do it all at once. You can make small adjustments every single day, make better choices, use his diet as a guideline, throw out all the bad food, get rid of the soda and the sugar and the crap, and just every single day make a better decision, eat a little bit less. And by the time you know it, you'll be dropping weight like crazy.
Dr. Now's right. That's no excuse, and she needs to start losing weight fast to try and take control of her life.
I've tried really hard these past couple of months. I know this surgery is my last hope to change, and everything is riding on what the scale says.
Dottie's back in Houston, so now we'll get to see if she took Dr. Now's words to heart.
Dr. Now said I needed to be under 600 pounds, and I have no idea if I made it close to that or not. I just hope I've done enough.
6 pounds? Wow, you definitely have not done enough.
I think it's interesting how before she gets on the scale, she's talking about, wow, everything is riding on this weigh-in. I need this surgery to save my life. Like, it's very, very important to her to get this right. And then she steps on the scale and she's only lost 6 pounds. Wow, I mean, that's only 3 pounds a month. That's simple math. Like, I figured that out on my own. I didn't even need a calculator to get that.
Who can tell me what 2 plus 2 is? 4. Excellent, Donna, it is. 2 plus 2 is indeed 4.
Okay, so I mean, it just shows just how little she worked. But in her own mind, she was absolutely fooling herself, because she thought that by getting on that scale, she expected that 40 pounds to be off and she was on her way to getting weight loss surgery. But it showed just how little she actually did.
Will she own up to her actions or blame her surroundings yet again?
My concern is that Dottie does not understand how much she's eating. And when you're telling me that you're not eating very much, that's not the reality, because your ideal body weight is 200.
It's very easy to see how delusional that she is. To say, wow, I really didn't eat that much and she only lost 6 pounds. She's trying to blame it on everything else. We see this from fat activists all the time. They have all kinds of excuses and blames and everything else. And it's everybody else's fault. It's everything else's fault except for themselves. Again, she's not willing to take personal responsibility for her own actions, for what she's eating. She says how important this is to her and she needs to save her life, but she's not willing to make the choices that she needs to make in order to get the surgery. All she had to do was get her act together for 2 months. And again, I know how difficult that is. I've been there. I had to do it for 6 months. I had to show 6 months of consistent weight loss. So if I had a month where I didn't show any weight loss, then that was another month tacked on. So let me tell you, I was motivated. I overcame all kinds of eating disorders and dysfunctions and addictions. I had to deal with all kinds of traumatic situations for the first time. I had to get therapy to help me through that.
I mean, it was just really hard to try to stay focused.
This is something that need not to be taken lightly.
Dottie, this is quite literally life and death. If you can't stay focused for this, then what will make you stay focused?
The narrator here is absolutely right. It is life or death, but she's not taking it seriously. She is putting her life on the line by pushing it off, and now she's got to wait another month, 2 months before she can get surgery. She wasted 2 months of her life just not doing the right thing. She had all the tools that she needed right in front of her, and she didn't grab out and take it. So that really shows that a lot of people who try to lose weight do so because other people want them to do it. They're telling them it's time to lose weight. Maybe you should get weight loss surgery. Like, that was me in the beginning. People were telling me I need to take it seriously, but there was nothing wrong with me. At the time, that's what I thought. Not knowing that in a few years, my blood pressure would skyrocket and my knees would grind down and I'd have all the problem and pain that I have today. The consequences are there. She knows she's struggling. She knows every step is painful for her. She's facing it every single day. That addiction to food is overriding the desire to lose weight. And so things are going to have to get worse for her before they get better, sadly. Anyways, guys, this is my video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down below if you want me to cover more people on my 600-pound life. I very much appreciate all the support you guys have given me. I love you guys very, very much. Every single minute is worth it to make you guys happy and to help other people realize the desperate need to lose weight and to not give in to their excuses any longer. So this is why I do it. I do it for you. I love you. Take care. God bless you.